I'm Gary Young. I enlisted in the Army. Living in Pennsylvania at the time. Went to Vietnam, and I got assigned to the 1st 11th Infantry, 5th Mechanized Division, which is in Quang Tri City, which is the northern part of Vietnam up by the DMZ. When I got in country, I was supposed to go to Pei Khu, but everybody was going north, so I didn't go to my original assignment. And I got up there, and I was in supply. I was a PLL clerk, which is a parts clerk. And when I got out there, they had me assigned to a company, and I knew that was wrong. And I finally got to where I was supposed to be. But I was the only school trained when I got there. All my other clerks that helped me and my mechanics in the motor pool, they were 11 Bravos that couldn't be in the field and couldn't go home. So they made them into other people or other jobs. So when I got there, there was no maintenance officer, there was no maintenance sergeant. I had it all on me. So the supply people don't get credit for over there. Anybody that was in the support, you know. The infantry soldier, yeah, he's the one out beating the bush, but he wouldn't be out there if it wasn't for supply people. We didn't have a lot of vehicles, but we had enough that they had, when they broke down, they had to be fixed. So, you know, I was assigned to headquarters company, and when I first got there, they had a assignment, and nobody wanted to go because, you know, all my clerks, they've already been out there. They know what's going on out there. Well, I didn't know, so I went. I went to Alpha 4, and the whole base at Alpha 4 was underneath the ground, except for the mess hall. So it was like that because they got rockets all the time. See, the guys in the field, all right, they hump the bush. The guys in the back, they got to deal with rockets. So they're all in the same boat as far as I'm concerned. And then I got off of that one. I went back to LZ Sharon. I was there for another month or so. Back up again. I go to Charlie 2 Fire Base. Well, Charlie 2 Fire Base, you live in bunkers, 6-7 feet underneath the ground. And what you are is you got guns, you got the big howitzers and that. And when they call in missions, them's the guys that send the artillery. And those people were good. They could put it within 10 feet of you if you wanted, if you gave them the right coordinates. These guys, they get they don't get mentioned either, is your artillery people. But I got done with that one, and I got back to LZ Sharon, and the Marine Corps left. And when the Marines moved out, we moved in where they were, and I spent my last 6 months at Red Devil. When I was at LZ Sharon, we probably had, I don't know, 15, 20 miles that we had to go to get to Quang Tri City. So anytime riding on a road out there was dangerous. But, you know, you do it. And when we got to Red Devil, then that was okay. But the supply people, they're the ones that prepare the log, what they call a log. And that is, you know, stuff that the infantry soldier needs out in the field. And they put it in this great big sack. and they fly it out with helicopters. But they only get it if they're not in contact with a unit, because they have to have a safe place for these helicopters. So we did a lot of that, and we kept the vehicles running. So we were always busy. And a lot of these people were forgotten, that's all I can say. So I don't know what this here is going to come out. It might come out some other people talking about your supply people and people that's in the rear. And without them, every soldier can't move. So we're all tied in together. What else?
Could you go ahead and state where you're from here in Wyoming, sir?
Oh, okay. Well, when I left Vietnam, I went to Texas, and then I got out of active duty, and then I joined the reserves, and then I went back on active duty again. Well, I had a friend in 1974. He said he was going to go antelope hunting, so I came with him, and I've been hooked on Wyoming ever since. And I told him, I said, well, when I retire, I'm moving to Wyoming. So I retired out of the Army in 1997, and I moved out here.
That's awesome.
If you ask me why I moved here, I said, it's right in the middle of everything. No matter what direction you go, it's history. And that's why I like Wyoming.
That's very true. Did you enlist, sir, or were you drafted?
No, I enlisted after I graduated out of a 2-year business college.
Okay.
I enlisted and I went to basic in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And then I went over. I went to Vietnam in June of '69. I went to basic training on the 2nd of January, 1969. So it didn't take me long to get where I was going.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of good things over there, and a lot of bad, but most people don't talk about the bad.
Yeah.
And being here today was good because just like our speaker out there just a little while ago, he was a dust-off. He was a medic helicopter pilot. Now he can tell you things that it'd take you a month. And you know, everyone over there either can talk about it or can't talk about it. And I was lucky. Probably should have been killed twice, but I was in the right place, the wrong time, or right time. And, you know, it happens. If you're lucky, you're lucky. And I happen to be lucky.
How do you feel? How do you feel about this event so far, and how you think the populace is reacting to it? I've had some people say that they've been to smaller ones that weren't as organized. How do you guys feel the state did with this?
Oh, I think they did a marvelous job on this. I asked them that they're going to do this every year, and they said no. I get mad. I went to a place in Georgia that it was Vietnam veteran get-togethers, and they do it every year. And they have the traveling wall. There's 2 of them that travel through the United States. Well, they'd have one of the traveling walls on that weekend. And it was Memorial Day weekend all the time. And you just go there, you bring a motor home, bring a tent, bring your car, wherever you want to sleep in. Bring food if you want. If you don't have to. Beer's free, was then. There's probably a cost on it now, but you know, and it was, they had hundreds of people come. It was on some guy's farm, and it was growing bigger every year. I went to there a couple years in a row when I was stationed in South Carolina. Maybe they can do something like that out here.
That would be really awesome.
To where the, you know, it's hard to get people to assemble at the same time anywhere. And these guys have done a fantastic job. I've enjoyed myself, and we're not even getting going yet. This is only Friday. I'm waiting to see Galloway. I want to meet him because I watch that movie all the time that he's involved with. And now I'm going to be able to meet him personally.
That's really awesome.
But that's a great movie. So I imagine there's stuff in that book that ain't in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
But he did it good. He did it good. That was the way it was. And Hollywood, they kind of get away from the way it was. But that movie, yeah, that one and Platoon, there's another good one, Hamburg Hill. They were showing you what the infantry soldier went through.
Do you feel like that related a lot to maybe your time in country, those movies? Do you feel like you could really relate more to those than, I guess, the other movies that have been put out?
Yeah.
Yeah. What parts do you feel like you could relate to most in those? Just how they lived, or how I guess in Platoon, how they were separated? How was the good and the bad?
Well, Platoon is good because if you were in the infantry and you were 11B, and that's what you did, you got dropped off somewhere from a helicopter. Up where we were, they walked out. But you get out there and you go from point A to B, and whatever turns up. And, yeah. But the Platoon, it kind of shows you the way they lived. It rained, you just put a poncho over you. There was no buildings to go hide in or nothing. It's just walked and walked and walked. And then your commanders would say, hey, we're going to take that hill. Let's go. And sometimes you pick the wrong hill and you just get into a mess. But up the hill they go, they take the hill, stay there a while, and they go to another one. Yeah. You were fighting an enemy that lived under the ground. They could pop up anywhere, and tunnel rats, what they call tunnel rats, they're the ones that went down in them holes and chased them out. So if you ever run into a person that was a tunnel rat, and he's only a little guy, he's only like 5'2", 5'4", well, that's the guy that went down in them holes. And they seen some wild stuff. But we fought an enemy that we probably could never defeat because you couldn't find them. And that's, we had enough troops over there, we could go hand to hand and walk up the whole country. By the time you get up the other end, the enemy's still behind you. They were hard to find. They were hard to fight. They were smart. We learned. We learned from them. Thank goodness Saudi wasn't that way. Saudi, they went from one place to another place and destroyed the enemy in between. We didn't have that opportunity. Our enemy would disappear on us. And then you had to find them. So We probably fought a war that was very hard to fight. So those movies, some of the movies are good, and some of the movies are Hollywood.
Yeah. Is there anything else you might want to add, sir, or anything you might want to say?
I just want to say, all in all, when you talk about Vietnam, and it's not like people that do talk about it, but it's everyone working together. You can't move an army without ordnance and supply, so they all work together, and that's what happened over there. The infantry soldier couldn't do his job unless he had the supporting people to get him where he was going. But yeah, this here is great. This weekend is a great weekend.
I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. You definitely deserve it. You know.
Well, my wife, she's got 23 years in, and what, 4 more years you collect your retirement. Now I've been collecting my retirement since '97, so.
It's got its benefits, that's for sure.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do have their benefits, but you know, sometimes when we talk to people, say, "Oh, wow," I said, "Well, we work for that. It's not. They're not giving us nothing. We've already paid the price. Have you laid your life on the line? No. Well, then you can't say veterans shouldn't have this and shouldn't have that, because you wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the veterans, because they keep the peace. And after a while, when you're done, and whether you put in 4 years, 3 years, or 30 years, you know, a veteran's a veteran. You did your part, and you earn what you get. That's the way I feel I am. I earn what I get now. And Wyoming is a very good state. They take care of their veterans.
Yes, they do.